Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another broadcast of The Lawrence Report. On tonight's broadcast, we will be discussing episode 8, which is the final episode of Black Cake. Now, I just want to let y'all know, if you hear me sniffling, it's because I am sick. Think I have the flu, have a pretty bad cold right now, so I'm doing my best to get through this right here, but I know I had to deliver this for y'all right here, right? So, this is the final episode of Black Cake. It's been a long journey for our girl Kobe. And there was so much that I felt like they actually tied up. There's a lot of loose strings that was kind of loose, but I feel like they actually did end up tying them up. And I was actually satisfied with this final episode. It also shows that we could potential get a season 2, but again, this is a limited series, so basically it's basically set for one series only, right? All right, so in the very beginning of episode 8, we see Matilda and Pearl, right? Pearl is helping Matilda with her baby, which is Kobe. So they're about to deliver Kobe. Looks like they're in like this forest area of Jamaica, and they end up delivering Kobe. But, Matilda asked Pearl, she's like, I want you to be my daughter's godmother. I want you to be able to always look after her. And Pearl's like, of course, girl, I got you. Like, we're a sisterhood. So while they're, out in this forest area, Pearl notices this fruit. And I think she called it nutmeg, but Matilda tells her that it's actually another poisonous fruit, which this fruit has major implications in what we'll see later. So now we fast forward to present day, and in present day we have Byron and Kobe. They're in the kitchen making this cake, and Kobe, she has her head wrap on her head because she's battling cancer, and while they're doing this, she basically tells Byron that I'm hoping that I will be around to see you and your kids do this, but unfortunately, I know I'm at the wit's end of my life. I know that I'm going to be passing soon, but I left you this recipe, so this can be a family tradition that I'm hoping that you will do with your own family as well. From there, we get to the point of where the 3 siblings are finally getting ready to open up this cake that Byron and his mother help make. And while they're cutting the cake, they discover this jar that's in the middle of the cake, and in this jar it is a picture of Kobe, Benny, and Gibbs when they were back in their younger days. So while they are the 3 siblings, while they are cutting this cake, and they discover this note that says Benedetta Bunny Pringle. And Byron's sister, she realizes that Bunny Pringle is actually a world-renowned famous swimmer. And there is also one more disk drive for Bunny, right? So they put 2 and 2 together, they get all the context clues together, and they realize exactly who is Bunny and that she's still alive. And so from there, they end up going to this book signing. And as soon as they get to the book signing, they see Bunny there. Of course, now Bunny's an older woman. And I was wondering, when we was going to get back to Bunny. And they saved the best for last when it comes to this episode right here, when it comes to Bunny. So they get back to this book signing, and they show Bunny this picture of Gibbs, Kobe, and Bunny when they were children, were young teens, basically. So after the book signing, they end up going to where it looks like lunch. And, the main conversation of this situation right here is they want to know, the children basically want to know, who killed Little Man, right? And for Benny, she's like, well, I thought Kobe died in the train crash that happened all those years ago. I didn't know she was, still following my moves. I didn't know she was still alive. I wonder why she didn't reach out to me. So when the children kept asking her about Little Man, she's like, listen, y'all are on your own. I'll take the drive. We see, in the show that she does end up taking the drive from the children, the disk drive. And she's like, well, I listen to this drive, but when it comes to stuff about Little Man, I don't want to hear it. And she ends up leaving. So, Byron's sister's like, well, she's the only person who knows, really what happened to our mother. Well, why don't we just go to Jamaica? Like, why don't we just go ask the people there about the situation? And Byron looks at her like, Jamaica? At the same time, Benny and Gibbs, they're kind of arguing about, when is he going to stand up for Kobe when it comes to her having to marry Little Man? And he's like, well, I love her. Well, Benny was like, well, step up to the plate and prove that you actually love her. So when Lynette, she shows up to the funeral, Byron is glad to see her. It's like seeing and feeling a sense of, wow, that's my girl. She actually came to my mother's funeral, which I'm happy about. And they're still trying to tie up some old loose strings that they have themselves when it comes to their relationship. And he even tells her, thank you for helping me step up to the plate and be a better man when it came to the diversity panel that they had. And because she wants Byron to be, I don't want to say, a woke black man, but she wants him to just be the man that she knows that he can be, right? And while they're at his funeral, she's like, well, I don't want to get into this right now. And he's asking her again, he's egging her on to get into some of the details of what's been going on between them two. And she says, Byron, I'm pregnant. And yeah, it was a long pause for me too. I was like, oh, okay. And Byron is happy. He's excited. He was like, wow, we're gonna have a kid together. I'm excited. But Lynette was like, about that. I don't know if I'm ready for a family. I don't know if I'm ready for kids. I don't know if I'm ready to have a kid with you. And Byron is like, well, what have we been doing? We just been playing house? I mean, Byron, I hate to tell you, but it seems like that's what y'all been doing. Playing house, smashing, going out on dates, and just going on your separate way. So again, this news, for Byron is just absolutely heartbreaking and soul crushing, right? And he even, tells his sisters, while they're at this funeral, and sisters, and I didn't realize this either, that basically the funeral was basically like an open casket type funeral. So everybody was kind of shocked by that, but Byron tells them that, like, listen, I can't do this. Like, I gotta go. I know we're at my mother's funeral, which is wild, but I can't handle what's happening right now with me mentally, especially with the news I just learned about. So he walks out of his own mother's funeral. So as Byron, as he tells his sisters that he can't do this anymore, he ends up leaving the funeral. And Bunny ends up coming to the funeral. She sees him leaving. So she basically, she follows behind him. And from there, he is seen at the beach. Looks like this right here is the same beach where his mother used to go to whenever she was reflecting, and she was in deep thought. And Byron is in deep thought here. And he's joined by Bunny. He's like, oh, well, you finally, decide to show up. And Byron is angry about all the things that is currently affecting him when it comes to his relationship with Lynette, his mother, the funeral, all those things. And while they're on the beach, Byron asks Benny, like, how did you, cope with this situation right here when it comes to death? How did you put it behind you? And she explains to him that, for me, I try not to think about it, because if I thought about it, it was going to eat me up inside. And, they even share a story about how Covey and Gibbs met, but it was unfortunately a lie. So Bunny tells Byron that we should do this Caribbean tradition. It's called Nine Night. That happens when the ninth night after someone's death. It's kind of like a celebration, basically talking about the memories of the past, how we want to move forward as well. So of course we get another flashback. Now we have Bunny and Pearl, they're in the kitchen. And Pearl is, getting ready to cook up this toxin from this fruit that is basically going to be set to kill Little Man. And for Bunny, while they're at this dinner table, she realizes that, for me, over these past couple of years, I'm still dealing with the fact that I took someone else's life. So for Bunny, she realized that, you guys are the living proof that I did do the right thing when it came to us basically taking little man's life. You know, while they're at this dinner table, you know, all three of the kids and Bunny, they all realized that they was never really truly able to say goodbye to Covey the way they wanted to. But Byron suggests that, you know, there's still a way, I mean, there's still a opportunity for us to say goodbye to her and to honor her the way she should be. So we end up getting another flashback, and we end up seeing Gibbs and Covey, and they're in this bedroom, looks like, and you know they're talking, and he basically tells her, well, you know, when you kissed him, well, whenever he kissed you, or whatever, and you smiled, I thought that that was it. He confesses to her that, yeah, I was at the wedding, but I was scared, and you know, I thought that, you know, whenever um, he kissed you, that I thought that was going to be it. Like, I guess I thought it was gonna be over. And she tells him that no, I was playing a role. You was always the one for me, but I just know that I just had to, you know, put on my best Oscar performance when it came to the situation with Little Man. So the three kids, they end up going to this area where their mother body was laying in state, and they all give her like these three symbolic gestures that meant the world to them. Byron ends up giving his mother these wedding rings. Um, Benny ends up giving her mother this necklace, but she's not able to exactly do it because she turns around and she hugs Byron, so she doesn't exactly put it into the casket. And his other sister, you know, she lays some daffodils into the casket, and she even, you know, acknowledges that, you know, that we have the same size hands, basically, that she's so similar to her mother in so many different ways. So I absolutely loved how they all took, you know, something that was a part of them, but they end up giving it to their mother while she is laying peacefully as she transitioned. So in the end, we see, you know, Benny decides to pursue her art. Byron decides to go forward with the discrimination lawsuit at his job. And Mabel returns home, but she listens to Covey's audio once again. And, you know, Covey gave a little bit more information about who her father really is. So that wraps up Black Cake. Great series. Absolutely loved it. I'm satisfied. You know, it remains to be seen if we'll have a season 2. But if we don't, I'm absolutely cool with it. It was a lot to handle every situation. I mean, every week. It just kept getting more and more intense. More secrets kept getting revealed. And for me, it was good. Hulu, y'all did y'all thing on this one right here. Oprah Winfrey, Harpo Productions, the showrunner, Charmaine, she did her thing as a writer of the book. I have not read the book yet, but I'm definitely now more than ever going to get the book. So that's Black Cake, y'all. Woo! It was a lot. It was a lot. If you've been watching the series, please comment below. I would love to know your favorite episode. And do you want a season 2 of Black Cake? And as always, thank you for watching The Lawrence Report.